Hi everyone. Welcome back to One Soul at a Time. Or if this is your first visit, I'd like to welcome you to this discussion and this introduction to a book I wrote, a meditation book that I wrote called One Soul at a Time. It's about daily living, about recovery, about finding ways to do things differently so that we're at peace with ourselves. I want to do my disclaimer. I do not profess to be, I'm not trying to be Dr. Phil here. I am not, even though I am a clinician and I'm a certified addictions counselor. This isn't about running some sort of group therapy. This is about sharing skills that I've learned over the years that apply to my day-to-day life. I'm in recovery. And it's easy to stop using substances, but boy, I've really found the key to this gig is to be content staying stopped. And so a little background, I've talked a couple of videos, I've discussed about my, how I got here, how, my hopelessness, my helplessness, how severe my addiction has been, and that I have relief today, and how some of the things that I do. But today I really do want to introduce you to One Soul at a Time. This is, if you've gone to the website we've posted on the other videos, hopefully you've had a chance to share that and take a look at that. But the way that this book works is each morning, this book comes with a set of, I think it's 157 cards and bookmarks. Okay, I'm gonna show you an example here. All right. I had spoken in the past about how when I first got sober, I couldn't remember anything that I heard, so I started writing down little phrases, right? And then in I think it was 1996, I got my first digital camera and I started making these cards. Here's one. Fear is the dark room where negatives are developed. Okay. And so I started giving them out. And then when I became a counselor, I have a basket in my office of these cards. And when somebody's done with a session, they get to pick out a card. And it never fails. It's always something that has to do with what we were talking about on that day. So anyway, a couple of years down the road, one of my clients said, Reggie, you need to write a book. And I'm like, yeah, okay. She says, it needs to be called Reggie Says. And I'm like, that's a little egotistical. But a ways later, I started pulling one of my own cards and writing the story behind that saying that was on the card, or the tool that it pertained to, that how I used it in my recovery, how I used it to solve a problem any given day. And it took a while. It took a while to handwrite it and then put it up, put it all onto the computer, and then edit and edit and edit. And I finally published for the first time in 2021 during the pandemic. I had a book signing outside of my garage with hot apple cider, and everyone wore masks, and I got to see people I hadn't seen in like 2 years. So anyway, what I wanted to do with you today is share with you an excerpt. There is an excerpt on the website. There's 2, I believe, of cards with the stories that go on. But I'd like to show you my process, and I'm using it myself. With that many pages, I can forget. And for me, recovery is all about repetition. So anyway, it comes with a little bag, and you put all the cards in there, and you pull out a card, and then you go, cards are numbered. I'm sorry, I'm a little stumbly today, because I'm human. Pull out a card, and then you go, there's a number on that page, and in the book that corresponds with the number on the card. And originally I was going to pull one out and read a story really spontaneously, and I pulled out a card this morning that I didn't get a chance to read the story behind. So I decided I'd use that one. And it's the card that I took the picture of that I used for the front cover of the book. And if you can't read it, or if it's backwards, because I don't really know how to work all this video equipment perfectly these days, the card says, is there an area of my life that I treat as though it were too important to turn over to my higher power? And part of, I think, the reason I got that is I have a situation coming up that might be a little hard today, this afternoon, actually. So I was really grateful that I stopped. I went and pulled the book out a little bit after my meeting this morning to read the story. And I want to share that with you right now. It's card 106. And again, it says, is there an area of my life that I treat as though it were too important to turn over to my higher power? The story, it says, I am getting better. I am getting better. I'm getting better. The card speaks for itself. I used to spend hours worrying, talking about, journaling over how to solve a situation. Tasha Silver wrote a book, Change Me Prayers, and several others, where she talks about trusting the divine, to remember he, she, it has every single problem solved already. Towards the highest good. The vignettes, adorable, powerful, and humorous, over and over, talked about letting go. While I knew this in my head, it took reading it one day at a time for many, many days, weeks, and months to get it into my heart. The all-powerful and mighty me still shows up once in a while. Okay, a lot. In my head, I still want to fix things, but the big lesson happened a little over 2 years ago. My daughter gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. She had a hard delivery. On my flight down to lend a hand, we got word that he had an intestinal blockage. Actually, we soon found out that he had no lower intestine at all because of a meconium ileus. He was soon after diagnosed with very severe cystic fibrosis. His gene mutation is so unique, traditional treatments were not ever going to fly. About 2.5 days after his first surgery, I took my daughter down to the cafeteria to make sure we both ate. It was early on in the diagnosis process, and I was in that what if and I wonder if stage. And she said, Mom, you can't fix this. Still chokes me up. Tears started to flow, and my wise, beautiful daughter said the rest of it. I don't know how long we get to have him, but I do know I get to be his mom the best I can, one day at a time, and God has it. He's a little over 4, my little ninja warrior, and he's my constant reminder that I have to turn him over to my higher power. So most days the rest is pretty easy. And that later in the page it says, God's got it always. That's really emotional for me. I'm happy to say that he was 4 when I wrote that story, and he turned 8 in October. And he is still the most amazing kid. But the bottom line is there's things that worry doesn't fix. I can sit and stew over things. I can run scenarios. But I truly do have found a higher power of my own understanding. And I have faith that whether that is whatever you want to call it, it's not about religion. It's certainly not about religion for me. But it's finding that comfort zone, that place of knowing that I'm not it. That I'm not the one in charge. Sometimes I'm giving opportunities to make some choices and decisions. I get to make those decisions, and then I get to let the outcome come out the way that it needs to, because I don't know all the players. And I will tell you something, for this alcoholic, that used to be a real source of what I drank at, what I thought was okay to drink at. If you'd only do what I wanted you to say, I wouldn't have to drink so much. I don't know, that's the short version. So anyway, I could give you 1,000 different examples of how I thought a scenario should have run. And maybe it took 2 days, maybe it took 2 years for me to look back as to why it was probably a good idea that thing didn't happen. But coming to understand that concept that I'm not in charge, that I can't juggle all those balls for everyone in the universe, really gave me some peace of mind and has really helped me be content staying stopped. So again, I'm Reggie. I'm author of this meditation book, daily meditation book, one soul at a time. Yeah, there's a lot of little tabs and correct things. Some of them are corrections, believe it or not. That I hope that you will go to the website, take a look, and yeah, it's a sales pitch. I hope you decide to get it so that you can use it and help solve some of the problems in your life today. And I hope that you come back. Who knows what we'll talk about next time? But this is about hope. This is about finding a centered peace in your core, your personal core. A lot of chaos going on in the world right now. And I, for one, know that I am powerless. It takes a lot of work for me to stay out of the whirlwind of the things that are going on, stay away from the news. I can't fix it. And if I am called to take some action, it'll be direct. I'll know the direction to be true. So anyway, I really hope that you have a great day, and I thank you for listening.